Welcome back, sisters. Welcome back to the Hero Whispers, our amazing podcast here on supergirls.com, Society's Bites Radio with Chief Supergirl, Jeannie Marie, here today with an amazing fellow alum from the College of William and Mary. Cannot wait to meet her. But before we get started, just in case we have any new listeners to the show, I just want to talk a little bit about Supergirls and what we do and what our mission is. It's all about empowering and inspiring college women to launch from college to life. So what we do is we mentor, we coach, we support these amazing women as they take the next step, as they make the transition, and whatever that means for them. So we're here to help them. We're here to support them. It's all about the sisterhood. And we're glad you joined us because on our podcast, we get to talk to them one-on-one and hear about their stories and what they're up to and what's relevant in their worlds. And that helps us be better, stronger, and faster. So thank you for joining us, and welcome to Gabriela. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my God, I was so excited to meet Gabriela. Gabriela MacPherson recently graduated from the College of William and Mary with a BA in Anthropology and a minor in art and art history. She plans to work for a few years in the nonprofit world before pursuing a law degree with a focus on human rights law. Her favorite activity during her time at William and Mary was being a Pilates instructor, and she hopes to continue teaching fitness classes on the side for as long as she can. And I had the pleasure of meeting her through the network. It's all about the network. Your net worth is your network. So excited. We have this amazing platform called the William and Mary Switchboard. We connected through there. She was able to help me with some of the things we're working on at Supergirls. And now I invited her to be on the show. So thanks for taking time out of your super busy schedule, Miss Graduate. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you so much. No, of course. I had a great conversation with you, so I was really, really excited to be on today.
And she's a fellow Jersey girl, which we love. Jersey!
I don't know what's more important, Jersey girl or William and Mary.
I know. And they're not mutually exclusive. So first, I just want to say congrats on graduating early. Just so you know, listeners, she graduated in 3 years. Oh my God, like who does that? And what was that like being an anthropology major at William and Mary?
Yeah, I came into William and Mary not knowing really anything about anthropology. I did not expect to study that at all. I came in undecided, and I took a class in archaeology just kind of on a whim. I figured, why not? I've never learned about this before. And I really fell in love. I loved my professor. He ended up actually being my advisor. But I also just felt like it gave me, the study of anthropology as a whole, gave me a new vocabulary for understanding my own identity. I come from a multicultural background, and I don't think I ever had the words before studying anthropology to talk about that. And I just loved learning about different perspectives on modern day issues. I just think anthropology has such a compassionate lens to look through. And that's really why I enjoyed it so much.
I love how you said that. I love how you phrased that. You got a new vocabulary for understanding your own identity. I mean, that is like really, really powerful.
It was an amazing experience.
Yeah. I mean, and to go to college, I mean, that's exactly why, or some of the things that we think about when we go to college is to like, you know, get to know yourself better and become independent and break away. But here again, you found yourself, you know, kind of getting to know your identity, your roots a little bit better and feeling really strong and proud about that. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
So when you say multicultural background, what does that mean for you?
For me, my mom is from Colombia. She was born there. And then my dad is here. He's of Scottish-Irish descent. So growing up in kind of, I guess, typical Caucasian American half, and then my mom from South America and that culture and how those two blended in my life. I think it always happened kind of without my noticing that there's this blending of cultures. But But once I was able to learn more about even what culture means, I think is just a basic thing we learn in anthropology, I was able to talk more and understand more what it looked like in my life and how my blending of cultures was different for even other people who also have blended cultural backgrounds.
So your mom was all the color and fire in the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm 100% Italian, married to an Irishman, so it's like very similar situation. Yeah, they're not used to that kind of like a shake-up. It's like a real attraction for them, you know? Interesting. Okay. So now you're taking a walk on the wild side to work in human rights, which is so cool. And so that is modern, you know, I think. I think that's like a cool modern thing to do today. And how did you end up doing that? Like, what inspired you to do that?
Sure. I think a lot of things I've realized in college, a lot of things in my life have led me to different decisions. Like my background led me to anthropology without me realizing it. I think it's kind of the same with human rights. Almost every aspect of my life, I think, has prepared me for it. My parents are both really compassionate people. And I think growing up, my brother and I always were raised to understand that everyone has inherent value, no matter how similar or different they are from you. My parents really pushed us to volunteer from a young age. And I think carrying that into college and then, carrying that into college and then getting to, sorry, that threw me off. Getting to carry that into college really was a great experience for me that pushed me towards that. And then anthropology, studying that, again, it gave me a vocabulary not just for my own identity, but for studying other people's identities and the unique problems that everyone has. I think learning about that has really pushed me towards human rights. I think it's pushed me towards wanting to not just learn about other people, but also use that knowledge to help them.
What kind of things did you volunteer for? I mean, so let's go backwards. Let's go back to when you started volunteering, even in, you know, before college, and like how that kind of shaped your decisions. And then when you went to college, you continued on that same path. So it was almost like you said, like it was like almost cut out for you that you were going to do that because you're giving back so much. But, you know, it's rare to find young people that volunteer. And it's, you know, it's really awesome because a lot of times people in the back half of their life, they need something to do, they're retiring or they're done with their career, you know, and then they're volunteering. And that's great too, don't get me wrong. But to do it from from as you're developing must have really had an impact on the way you thought about your life.
I think it definitely did. A lot of the volunteering I did when I was younger was through our church. Our church had a soup kitchen, and when we were little, we were able to help make and package the meals. And then as we got older, we were allowed to actually go and participate in serving at the soup kitchen. And my mom also worked for, it's called Emmanuel Cancer Foundation. She was a driver, so she would deliver food to families who usually were low income and had a child with cancer. And she was just a driver. So I remember as a little kid being in the back seat with her and, you know, her driving to different places. And I think even if I didn't fully understand what was going on, it was always clear to me that that was important. And then into high school, I helped out with events at the same place at Emmanuel Cancer Foundation. And then in college, it was more of mentorship, working with local high schoolers to help them get into college. That was the skill I felt that I had at that point. So that was more of what I focused on. But even if they all didn't necessarily connect with each other, I always felt like doing something for other people was almost habit at that point. I don't even know if I was fully conscious of it as a decision. It was more like, this is what my family has always done. So I'm just going to continue doing this.
Yeah, it's like a family tradition.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that when I see families that, like, for the holidays, they go and do that on Thanksgiving, they go to a kitchen and help serve people that are less fortunate, or, at Christmas, collect food. It's like a thing they do as part of their rituals. And it's super cool. It's just an amazing thing. So, yeah, I hope you bring that to your family too. You're not ready for that yet, but when you do.
Not ready for it yet, but I definitely will when that time comes.
Awesome. So when you were in college and you were volunteering, did you find that was your tribe of people? Or did you influence other people to do that along the way?
I think, for me in college, volunteering came in a lot of ways I didn't expect. A couple of different times, actually, now that I think about it, it was kind of me just jumping in and seeing if I could meet people, because, that's what everyone wants to do when they get to college. The mentorship that I talked about, where I went to local high schools to help with college applications, I remember I think I got an email advertising that club, and it was 2 days a week, and it happened to work with my schedule that I didn't have classes at those times. And I ended up meeting some really nice people from my own school, and also some of the supervisors at local high schools. I ended up making some nice friends from that, which was unexpected because I really jumped into it not knowing anyone in that club. And then one of my favorite things that I usually did spring break trips, once through my church and then once through a club at school. And it was this past spring break, I went to a free health clinic in a rural area of Virginia. And that was another time where I didn't really know anyone else who was going to be on the trip. And I ended up making some friends on that trip as well, with people who were mostly medical or pre-med students, so I never would have met them otherwise. But that was a great experience, and learning more just about rural issues. I think growing up in northern New Jersey, that wasn't on my radar, and it is now, and I'm so grateful for that, because I don't think I would have had that experience if I had just stayed here.
Yeah, what a difference. Virginia is definitely a far cry from New Jersey. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So much different. Yeah, eye-opening. Oh, wow. So we are lucky, this world is lucky to have women like you with these huge hearts, for sure.
Thank you.
Of course. Oh my gosh, of course. And how did Pilates fit into the whole picture?
Yes. Pilates, that's another thing that I discovered, I would say, like the summer before college. I started going to Pilates classes actually just to fix some lower back pain I was having. My physical therapist recommended it, and I fell in love with it. Oh my gosh. I'm such a nerd for Pilates, I'll say.
I want to come to a class. I have to come to one of your classes. Yeah, I love it.
Oh my gosh. It's such a stress relief for me, I think. And it was such another great way at school to meet people on the staff. I really missed, I didn't do sports in college, but I did them all through middle school and high school, a bunch of different sports. And I missed being able to do something that was exercise, but also the team aspect. And even though I was teaching by myself, on the staff, we were all a big team. We would always trade choreography and talk about